I know a guy who he was a recently retired '06, and he went off and started his own little leadership consulting practice. And he was fresh out of the service, probably maybe a year, and I invited him to attend an event with me, and I made an introduction for him. We had a very senior level meeting with a potential client for him, and just the three of us sitting around a table, the senior member of the company and the two of us, and I was making the introduction. And he was talking and talking and talking and talking. He was doing no listening, selling, selling, selling. He was putting, pieces of paper in front of the person. Here's what I can do for you, and here's my card. And I was watching the body language of the person across the table just completely retreat, of this onslaught of salesmanship. And I sort of took him aside later, and I realized what was happening. He was acting like a 20-something-year-old young entrepreneur who'd never done this before, where it's just too much. But we excuse it when it's somebody who's 22 and 23 years old because we know that they're new to it. But he's in his 50s. And so he looks like and acts like a professional, and he's got all this experience, except he was acting like he was entry level. And I had to tell him, you have to learn patience. The only responsibility, the only goal of a first-time introduction is that they'll take a meeting with you again, not to make the sale. And when I was starting out, I remember learning this lesson the hard way myself, and I realized a first meeting is not designed to win any business. A first meeting is designed to get a second meeting. A first phone call is designed to get a second phone call. A second phone call is designed to get a meeting. That's the goal. That's what you have in mind. So if you have in mind just get a second meeting, then you're going to be relaxed. You're going to talk more about each other. You're going to ask a lot of questions. You just want them to get to know you and like you so that they would take a second meeting with you, so that they would take your phone call if you called the second time, right? And he missed that. He had to learn the hard way. And it's harder when you're older because people don't give you, because you have a little gray hair, they don't give you the free pass anymore, right? But patience is a big thing, this is not new for anybody, veteran or otherwise. This is what we do our entire lives. You go to junior high school, you're nothing when you're in 6th grade. You make it to 8th grade, you're king of the school, and then you start all over again as you're a freshman in high school. And now you're nobody. Then you're king of the world, you're a senior in high school, and then you go to college, and you're nothing. You start all over again. And then this is our entire career. You're king of the world in whatever job you do, and then you transfer somewhere else, and now you're nothing because you're the new guy. And so I don't know why people are acting like this is some sort of new thing, that you have to start at the bottom. That's what we do our entire lives. And so to show up as a student rather than an expert, I think, is the best mindset to come, which is I'm the new guy, and I want to learn. I'm going to ask a million questions. I want to get to know people. I want to take it all in, as opposed to, do you know who I am and what I've done? And I think having a student point of view, a student perspective, also comes across, it also reads to others as humility. It reads as, here's a person who's willing to learn, who's willing to say, I don't understand everything, who's confident in the stuff they know and what they've done, but also willing to say, I've got a steep learning curve. That's very appealing, as opposed to somebody who goes, I've done this before, when we know you haven't, right? So I think this is not necessarily a new experience. It's just different clothing.